If you're a green card holder, visa holder, or anyone planning to travel in or out of the United States, what I'm about to tell you will directly impact your next border crossing. December 26th isn't just another date on the calendar. It's the day everything changes at every single US entry and exit point, and millions of travelers have no idea what's coming. I'm talking about a complete transformation in how America tracks and verifies the identity of every non-citizen entering or leaving the country. This isn't a rumor I picked up somewhere. This is official Department of Homeland Security policy, and whether you're on an F1 visa studying here, working on an H1B, holding a green card, or just visiting family on a tourist visa, you need to know exactly what's about to happen. Here's what keeps me up at night. Most people won't find out about these changes until they're standing at the border, confused and unprepared. That's not going to be you. Stay with me because I'm breaking down everything about this new biometric system in terms that actually make sense. Welcome to Dream Visa Updates, where we cut through the confusion and give you verified, accurate information about US immigration policy. I'm here to arm you with facts, not fear. And today, we're covering one of the most massive changes to border processing we've seen in years: the nationwide expansion of biometric collection for all non-citizens. Now, this didn't just appear overnight. Congress ordered this more than 20 years ago after September 11th, and we're finally seeing the complete rollout. Before we go any further, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Immigration policy doesn't wait for anyone, and you can't afford to miss updates that could affect your status or travel plans. And if you find value in what I'm sharing today, give this video a like and share it with anyone who needs to know. Trust me, they'll thank you later. Let's get straight to it. What exactly is changing? October 27th, 2025. The Department of Homeland Security published their final rule in the Federal Register. The title? Collection of biometric data from aliens upon entry to and departure from the United States. The effective date? December 26, 2025. Here's the reality. Starting December 26th, US Customs and Border Protection gets the green light to collect facial photographs from every single non-US citizen at every port of entry and exit. We're talking international airports, land borders with Canada and Mexico, seaports where cruise ships dock, even private aircraft arrivals. Every single point where someone crosses into or out of America. The rule strips away previous limitations that kept biometric collection confined to pilot programs at select locations. It also eliminates age exemptions that used to protect kids under 14 and adults over 79 from facial recognition screening. Now everyone's in the system. Listen, I need you to understand something important. This technology isn't brand new. If you've flown internationally through a major US airport recently, you've probably already experienced it. CBP has been testing and gradually implementing facial recognition for years through various pilot programs. But here's the critical difference. December 26th makes this official policy everywhere. The pilot limitations vanish, and most importantly, the system now applies systematically to departures as well as arrivals. The technology operates through what CBP calls the Traveler Verification Service. Picture this. You approach an inspection point or departure gate. A camera captures your photograph. Within seconds, that image gets automatically matched against photos already sitting in government databases. Your passport photo, your visa photo, previous entry records. The system compares these images and verifies your identity faster than a traditional document check by an officer ever could. Now, who does this affect? Let me be crystal clear here because there's no room for confusion. This rule applies to all non-US citizens. Period. That includes green card holders, every lawful permanent resident, all visa holders, students on F1 visas, workers on H1B or L1 visas, exchange visitors on J1 visas, tourists, individuals entering on visa waiver programs, refugees and asylees, people with temporary protected status, even diplomats who previously had exemptions. US citizens are not subject to mandatory biometric collection under this rule. If you're an American citizen and you don't want your photo taken, you can opt out. Just notify a CBP officer or airline representative, and you'll get standard manual passport inspection instead. But here's where it gets serious. That opt-out right does not extend to non-citizens. For everyone else, biometric collection is mandatory, no exceptions. One thing I want to clarify because I know people will ask. This rule was initially proposed during the first Trump administration, back in November 2020. The Biden administration reopened the comment period in February 2021, and the final rule got published in October 2025. This has been a bipartisan priority spanning multiple administrations, driven primarily by congressional mandates for border security following the 9/11 Commission recommendations. This isn't about politics. This is about policy that's been decades in the making. Let's talk about why the government is really implementing this system and what the actual impact will be for you as a traveler. According to DHS, the primary goals are national security, identity verification, and immigration enforcement. The system is designed to prevent several specific problems: detecting individuals using fraudulent travel documents, identifying people who overstay their visas, preventing previously removed individuals from illegally re-entering the country, and creating a complete verified record of entries and exits for all non-citizens. Think about this. For decades, the US had massive gaps in its exit tracking. Someone drives across the land border into Canada or Mexico, and often there wasn't a formal exit record created. Older passport stamps were inconsistent. Variations in how names were spelled across different documents sometimes prevented records from being properly connected. The new biometric system eliminates these gaps by creating an automatic verified record every single time someone crosses a border. For the average traveler who's here legally and following the rules, your day-to-day experience at the border shouldn't change dramatically. In fact, many travelers report that facial recognition systems are actually faster than traditional document checks. Most scans take just a few seconds. You look at a camera, it verifies your identity against your passport or visa photo, and you proceed. But here's where you need to pay close attention. This creates a comprehensive travel timeline for every non-citizen. Immigration officers reviewing applications for visa extensions, green card renewals, or naturalization will now have immediate access to precise entry and exit dates, automatically verified through biometric confirmation. For green card holders in particular, this becomes critically relevant because permanent residents are required to maintain the United States as their primary residence and avoid extended unexplained absences. Previously, if travel records were incomplete or dates didn't align perfectly, there was sometimes room for explanation. Now, with every crossing captured biometrically, any extended time abroad will be clearly documented. There's no ambiguity anymore. Let's address some practical questions and concerns about how this system actually works, because I know these are the details that matter to you. First, regarding accuracy. Facial recognition technology has improved significantly in recent years, but no system is perfect. DHS acknowledges that environmental conditions, camera quality, lighting, shadows, even physical changes in appearance can sometimes affect results. Studies cited by government officials show that facial recognition systems can have different accuracy rates across demographic groups, with some research indicating that people with darker skin tones, women, and older travelers may be more likely to experience matching difficulties. So what happens if the system can't verify your identity? You'll be directed to secondary inspection. This is a more detailed verification process where a CBP officer examines your documents manually and may ask additional questions. In most cases, this resolves quickly once your documents are examined in person. However, it can add time to your border crossing, which is something to keep in mind if you're on a tight schedule. Second, regarding privacy. CBP has stated that photos of US citizens who go through the facial recognition process are deleted within 12 hours of identity verification. But photos of non-citizens? Those are retained in what's called the DHS Biometric Identity Management System for up to 75 years. This is consistent with existing policies for border crossing records. DHS has published more than 10 privacy impact assessments on various aspects of the biometric entry-exit program, outlining policies for data gathering, storage, use, and retention. Third, regarding what biometrics are collected. The primary focus is facial recognition photographs. The rule also allows for collection of other biometric identifiers, such as fingerprints or iris scans for non-exempt individuals, but facial recognition is the main technology being deployed. Fingerprint collection has been standard for visa applicants and some border crossings for years, so this isn't entirely new territory. Let me break down what this specifically means for different categories of non-citizens, because your situation determines how this affects you. For green card holders and lawful permanent residents, you're already familiar with having your documents checked at the border. The main change is that now both your entries and exits will be captured biometrically and tracked more precisely. If you travel frequently or spend extended time outside the United States, be aware that this creates a complete automated record that will be visible to immigration officers if you apply for citizenship, renew your green card, or face any other immigration proceeding. The general rule that you should avoid absences of more than 6 months at a time remains critically important. If you need to travel abroad for an extended period for family reasons, work, medical care, or other legitimate purposes, consider whether you need to file for a re-entry permit using Form I-131 before you leave. A re-entry permit doesn't guarantee anything, but it can help demonstrate your intent to maintain permanent residence in the United States. For visa holders, including students, workers, and visitors, the biometric system will create a verified timeline of your presence in the United States. This is particularly important for visa holders who have specific time limits on their authorized stay. If you overstay your visa, even by a few days, that overstay will now be documented automatically through the biometric exit system. For students on F1 visas who have duration of status rather than a specific end date on their I-20, maintaining proper status and ensuring you depart or change status appropriately becomes even more important because the records will be precise and automatic. For individuals applying for future immigration benefits, when you apply for a green card, citizenship, visa extension, or any other benefit, USCIS officers will have access to your complete biometric entry-exit record. They'll see exactly when you entered and exited, how long you stayed during each visit, and whether there are any gaps or inconsistencies. This makes accurate record keeping on your part more important than ever. So what should you actually do to prepare for this change? Here are my practical recommendations that you can implement right now. First, ensure your documentation is complete and consistent. Your name, date of birth, and other identifying information should match exactly across all your documents: passport, visa, green card, driver's license, every official piece of identification you have. If you've changed your name due to marriage, divorce, or any other reason, make sure you have the legal documents that prove the name change, and consider whether you need to update your immigration documents to reflect your current name. Inconsistencies can cause delays or confusion when the biometric system tries to match your current appearance to records on file. Second, maintain clear evidence of your U.S. ties. This is especially important for green card holders. Keep documentation that demonstrates the United States is your primary home: lease agreements or mortgage statements, utility bills in your name, bank and credit card statements showing U.S. activity, employment records and pay stubs, school enrollment records for your children, medical and dental appointments, membership in local organizations. Anything that shows your daily life is rooted in the United States. These documents become particularly important if you ever need to explain travel patterns or demonstrate that you haven't abandoned your permanent residence. Third, monitor your time abroad carefully. If you're a green card holder, keep your own personal log of when you leave and return to the United States. Don't rely solely on passport stamps or memory. With the new biometric system creating precise records, you'll want to ensure your own records match what the government has. For visa holders, Make absolutely certain you understand the terms of your authorized stay and don't overstay, even by a single day. Fourth, check your documents before traveling. Before any international trip, verify that your passport is valid for at least 6 months beyond your planned return date, that your visa or green card hasn't expired, and that you have all necessary documentation for re-entry. If you're a green card holder who's been outside the US for close to 6 months, make sure you can explain the reason for your extended absence and have documentation to support it. Fifth, secure your digital privacy. This isn't directly related to the biometric system, but it's worth mentioning because it matters at the border. CBP officers have the authority to examine electronic devices at the border. Before you travel internationally, back up your data, use strong passwords, remove any sensitive information that could be misinterpreted, and be prepared for the possibility of device inspection. Most travelers pass through without any issues, but it's better to be prepared. Sixth, if you have prior immigration issues, consider consulting an attorney before traveling. If you've had a previous overstay, any criminal arrests or convictions, unresolved immigration cases, or significant gaps in your residence history, it may be wise to speak with a qualified immigration attorney before you leave the country. Many immigration complications are easier to resolve while you're physically present in the United States rather than trying to re-enter after a problem is flagged at the border. Let's talk about the timeline because implementation matters. The rule takes effect December 26, 2025, but full implementation across all ports of entry will be phased in over approximately 3 to 5 years. CBP has already deployed facial recognition systems at many major international airports, and some land ports and seaports have pilot programs in operation. The December 26th effective date means CBP has full legal authority to expand the system to any port of entry, but they'll prioritize high-volume locations first and gradually expand to smaller crossings. Public comments on specific aspects of the implementation process, particularly regarding newly implemented transportation modalities like sea exit, private aircraft, and vehicle entry-exit at land borders, are being accepted through November 26, 2025. While the rule itself is final, DHS is still seeking input on how certain collection processes should work and what the costs and benefits are for different transportation types. I want to provide some context so you understand where this fits in the bigger picture of US immigration policy, because nothing happens in a vacuum. The biometric entry-exit system isn't a sudden new invention. Congress first mandated it more than 2 decades ago following the September 11th attacks, when the 9/11 Commission identified comprehensive border tracking as an essential national security measure. Since then, multiple administrations and Congresses, both Republican and Democrat, have pushed for its implementation. Previous attempts struggled with technical limitations, funding constraints, and logistical challenges of deploying the system across thousands of border crossing points. What's different now is that the technology has matured. CBP has gained operational experience through years of pilot programs, and Congress has provided funding for a full-scale rollout. The system you'll encounter starting December 26th has been tested extensively at select airports and crossings, refined based on real-world performance, and evaluated through numerous privacy and security reviews. This is also part of a broader trend toward digitization and automation in immigration processing. USCIS has been adopting new technologies for application processing, case management, and verification. The goal, according to the government, is to improve security, reduce fraud, and create more efficient systems. However, this also means that accurate record keeping, consistent documentation, and compliance with immigration requirements are more important than ever before. Let me be clear about what this rule does and doesn't mean, because there's a lot of confusion and fear out there. This is not a travel ban. It's not a new basis for denying entry to people with valid documents. It's not creating new immigration requirements beyond what already existed. What it is doing is creating a comprehensive automated system for verifying identity and tracking entry and exit for everyone who isn't a US citizen. For the vast majority of travelers who are here legally, following the terms of their visas or permanent residence, and maintaining proper documentation, this should simply become a routine part of international travel. Perhaps even faster and more efficient than traditional document checks. The key is preparation, understanding what's changing, keeping your documents current and consistent, maintaining clear records of your time in the United States, and ensuring you're in full compliance with your immigration status. If you're uncertain about your specific situation, if you have complicated travel history, or if you're concerned about how this might affect your future immigration applications, consult with a qualified immigration attorney who can review your individual circumstances and provide personalized advice tailored to your situation. I hope this breakdown has given you a clear understanding of the new biometric entry-exit system, what changes on December 26th, and how to prepare. My goal with Dream Visa updates is always to provide you with accurate, practical information based on official sources and verified facts. No fear-mongering, no speculation, just the information you need to make informed decisions about your immigration journey. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to Dream Visa Updates for more comprehensive coverage of immigration policy changes, visa updates, and practical guidance for navigating the U.S. immigration system. Hit that notification bell so you're always informed when significant changes happen that could affect you or your family. And remember, immigration law is complex and constantly evolving. While I work hard to provide accurate general information, nothing in this video constitutes legal advice for your specific situation. For personalized guidance, always consult with a licensed immigration attorney. Thank you for watching Dream Visa Updates. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay informed, stay prepared, and safe travels.